Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Summer House Martha's Vineyard. This is season 1, episode 3. I think it's 3. Let's hope it's 3. But let's get into it. So the episode starts off where it left off. You got Phil being a drunk fool in the den area. Nick in the basement flushing the poop out the toilet after Phil, poops in it. So Amir and Phil are getting into it because Amir like, I'm with it. When that man said, "Don't try me, brah," I said, "Oh my God, you're so mixed." All I can think about is like surfers. Good luck, dude. Good luck, brah. I was just like, bruh. He said, "Don't try me, brah." I was like, oh, Amir, we can tell you didn't hang around black people because it would have been bruh. It would have been bruh. It would have never been bro. It would have never been bra. But everyone's like, hold up. So you see Alex and Preston get up. Nick is still sitting on the couch like he got to go. So then Silas comes and he's like, what is going on? Like, we just got back. Like, what's going on? So Preston is like, he got to go. Preston said, I'm done with this. He got to go. Phil got to go. And Amir is like, he got to go too. Because Amir was like, he's been disrespectful to everybody in the last 5 minutes. And so they do like they show every scene. So like when he mentioned something about Preston's shirt, when he pooped in the toilet, in Nick's toilet. And then when he went up to Alex and was like, man, my name is Phil Brooks. Do you know who I am? My name is Phil Brooks. And Alex looking at Phil like, and that matters to me, why? So Amir's like, if he wants to escalate it, because it will get escalated, I will escalate it. And then Amir brings up how he's just like, he doesn't like bullies because we found out he was bullied because he was nerd and mixed. I don't know if I believe that. I can see him being corny, but I don't think it had anything to do with him being mixed. But okay. So he's like, I couldn't defend myself back then, but I can definitely defend myself now. So he was like, I'm not taking, like, it's not going to go down like that. So production, like, hauls off Phil into one side of the house. And you got Preston upstairs, like, yeah, he got to go. Shanice is like, what happened? Because I guess Shanice and Jordan were getting ready to get into the pool. And they're in their swimsuits. And Preston's like, bro, he just tried to get into a fight. He just tried to fight Amir, and Shanice is like, what? And Jordan's like, for real? So then Jordan's like, I don't know Phil, but like I like his energy, like I want to keep this energy, so I just want to see where he's at. Excuse me. When I first saw this clip of Jordan going off on Phil, I was like, yes, Jordan, read him his rights. But then when I saw the build up to like how we got here, I feel like Jordan was doing too much. Don't get me wrong. I think Phil is weird and he's an embarrassment because Jordan goes to speak to him. She's trying to ask him like, what's going on? Why you like this? Like, why are you with this energy? And so Phil's like, I pooped in his toilet. And Jordan's like, you did what? He was like, I pooped in his toilet. I didn't flush it. And Jordan was like, why would you do that? And Phil thinks it was like cute and funny, but I was like, bro, it's not. It's your bodily excrement in somebody's toilet. It probably stinks because you look like you smoke weed all day, you drink all day, and it's giving that, bro. So like, for you to be like, I did it, because Jordan's like, why would you do it? He was like, well, Bria was supposed to hold my room, and Jordan's like, Bria didn't do that. And he was like, yeah, and I need to go talk to her and cuss her out. But like, then it shouldn't be that big deal because Phil is of the mindset that because he's telling them why he did what he did, like he's owning the fact that he did it, nobody should be mad. And it's like, Phil, that's not how this works. No, that's not how it works, sir. It don't work like that. You were horrible for doing that. So he then starts to cuss at Jordan. Jordan, like, because my thing about Jordan came over there with this energy with Phil, like she was interested in him. Like, I bet you if Phil had stayed into the house, Jordan probably would have ended up messing with him and show with Shanice. Because Shanice comes downstairs and Shanice acting like she want to throw that cat on him. So I'm just like, Jordan's tune shifted when Phil started cussing at her. In the beginning, he was just like, no, I just cuss, because Jordan was like, don't cuss at me. He was like, no, I just cuss when I talk. Then he was just like, Jordan was like, what is this attitude for? What is this attitude for? So then Phil is like, they go back and forth, and like he puts money on the table talking about he like, I need to go cuss Bria out and Milo. And Jordan's like, what did Milo do? And he's like, have you ever chased Milo? Phil pulls out a raggedy $100 bill, slams it on the table, and I'm like, Phil, if you don't put away your travel money, put away your travel money, sir. Because he was trying to act like he was doing something by putting that $100 bill on the table. And he was like, I bet you, like, you can't chase Milo for 10 minutes. And I was just like, or I can catch Milo. It was either you can't chase Milo for 10 minutes, or I bet you, like, I could catch him faster than you. And then Jordan was like, put your money away. And then he kind of got disrespectful because I think Shanice said something. He was like, what? I called you pretty. Like, basically, he started to get belittling towards Jordan. So then Jordan, like, flies off the handles, in my opinion. Like, she was like, you're just on a couch. You're just a man on a couch. And then she called him the B word. And it was like, you could see Jordan was struggling to get those out. Like, I could tell that she was uncomfortable doing it because it was giving, like, forced. The way she was sitting on the couch, like, yeah, you're just a dude on a couch. You're just a dude on a couch. It was like, Jordan. Okay, so then Phil gets up and starts yelling, and then Jordan starts yelling and like pointing her finger at him because now everybody else is coming into the kitchen because Jasmine's in the kitchen because Jasmine was like looking at them argue because Jasmine came running down before they like separated Phil to be like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, why are y'all acting this? Talking about, I love you, black man. I was like, Jasmine, stop. And so like Silas is like, we just need to call a house meeting. So they go into the basement where Nick's room is and they have the house meeting. And they basically tell Bria, you're going to have to tell your dude to leave because he's been disrespecting everybody. And like, he just got here. And Bree showed her lameness. She showed how lame she was. Because then she starts talking about, well, if Phil has to leave, then Mariah has to leave. So they have the conversation about Mariah leaving the house after Bree said Mariah shoved her in the chest. And she really didn't. She just placed them clothes like hard on her chest. But Jordan made it seem like Mariah like shoved her or really was like doing all of this to her. And she wasn't. So they basically say they're going to get rid of Mariah. And I feel like Jasmine was in a sticky place. I know a lot of people feel like Jasmine didn't stick up for her. I definitely, like, one of my mutuals brung up that like there could have been more. Like, they should have gave Mariah the opportunity to talk for herself. And I was like, yeah, Mariah should have been there. But I think the outcome still would have been the same because nobody was advocating for Mariah. Like, the thing that helped Brie and her, which was good for Brie, is that Jordan was sitting there saying that like she shoved her and I was sitting there. I was like standing there or something like that. Nobody else said anything. Like, Shanice didn't speak up, and she's not going to speak up because Brie is her best friend. Jasmine wasn't there. Silas wasn't there. And then the other guys was just sitting on the what's it called? On the staircase, just looking, and like they weren't even there close enough to look at the actual fight. So I feel like Mariah would have got pushed out either way, or maybe they would have forced her to be like, hey, say sorry. But if she wouldn't have said sorry, then she would have to leave or give her the option to leave. But I definitely feel like she should have been down there. But I also feel like Jasmine was in a hard place either way because if it looked like they were doing majority rule. So if the majority of the house was like she had to go, then Mariah had to go. If she would have, like, if Jasmine would have been like, no, we're not going to do that. Mariah been here for such and such days. It wasn't that deep, but she didn't see it. Because she didn't see it, I don't think she felt right really, like, challenging everything. Excuse me. I think she probably was like, I don't think she felt like she could say anything because she didn't see how bad the fight was, which it really wasn't. It was a shoving match, and it wasn't even a hard shoving match. So they get rid of Mariah. They get rid of Phil. Mariah is actually like shocked because Jasmine is the one. No, Brie is the one that has to tell Phil he has to leave. Jasmine is the one that has to tell Mariah she has to leave. So Mariah and Phil were in the kitchen together while everyone was deliberating down in the basement. And Brie comes up. She's sitting on the couch and she's like, Phil, I gotta talk to you. And she basically said, Phil, you got to leave. So like, Phil is mad because Phil was like, yo, it's not even my fault. I shouldn't even have to leave. And I'm wondering where he was going because someone explained to me that Martha's Vineyard is like an island, like a massive island. So it's kind of like where you stay, bro. Like, did you stay on the island or did you have to like fly back over? But Phil is upset. He's like F everybody and he leaves. So then Jasmine goes to talk to Mariah. She's nervous because she's like, I don't really want to have this conversation with my friend. And she sits Mariah down. Jasmine sits Mariah down so they can have the conversation. And Jasmine pretty much tells Mariah, like, you did a lot, she did a lot, and I wish that you like wouldn't have gotten that way, but the house pretty much wants you to leave. And Mariah is shocked because Mariah was like, I can't believe like I wasn't able to have this conversation with y'all, as well as like y'all just discarded my character for somebody you didn't even want on this trip. And I was like, yeah, I can see how Mariah would feel. And I guess they're not friends anymore because Mariah left the next day saying, I'm mourning a 12-year friendship, and that's how long Mariah and I guess Jasmine have been friends. So in the morning, we see everybody, it's the morning, eating breakfast, doing their morning routines. We see Alex, I forgot what type of pose. I think, is that newborn? Baby pose where he, like, it was full just area. Him in the air, pulling his legs back. We see Amir, what was Amir? Amir and everyone like waking up, trying to like hoping that everything was okay. Also feeling bad for Mariah, feeling like Mariah shouldn't be the one to leave. So Jasmine goes to like check on Mariah. They both start crying. And Mariah just feels like rejected and like dejected by Jasmine. She don't even say goodbye to anybody else. But Amir goes into the room to hug Mariah. And then once we find out what Amir did, he's trash. That was a trash move. So we then see editor Leah popping in, y'all. So I'm realizing as I'm editing the video, I did not specifically say what Amir did that I felt was like a trash move and he was trash for that. So we find out by his own admission that he was the one that put Milo's dog stuff in the washing machine with the laundry. And so it's like, you are the catalyst for this argument between Bria and Mariah that escalated for them to like put their hands on each other, because we're not going to act like Bria throwing her pretzels at Mariah wasn't doing the most either. I don't even think Mariah did that much by shoving Milo's clothes on Bria's chest, but hey, we get it. Keep your hands to yourself. But I just felt like it was a trash move because you could have like spoke up in that situation and been like, hey y'all, it was my fault. Like, I was the one that mixed the clothes. It wasn't Bria's fault. And like there could have been like a ceasefire at that moment. Then when they had the conversation where everyone was like deliberating on whether or not Mariah should leave, he should have been the main one speaking up and even saying, well, I'm the one that put the dog clothes in the washing machine. But he didn't want to say that because he's a coward, because you didn't want Bria or Mariah to come at you, because it's like you should have just spoke up in that moment and took the heat like, yeah, man, that was my fault. I put the clothes there. But the fact that you didn't say anything and then you hug her while she's leaving and you were the reason why they got into it, you're lame for that. Like, you're lame. You are lame for that. Like, don't hug me and you're the reason why I'm getting kicked out the house. Like, bro, for real? So we then see Shanice called Phil to be like, Phil, we just want you to say sorry to everyone. I bet you that would make everything better. Phil said F y'all and hung up on her. Like, he was still mad. And I just like, I don't get how he could be so mad when you were the one that was going around being aggressive and disrespecting people. So Shanice is like, oh my God, he hung up on me. That's horrible. So we see everybody get ready for like that day's like activity. They're doing like a field day. Well, Alex tells Shanice, we got to work on personal space with you. We also found out a little bit more about Alex, how he used to be a playboy, used to be a player, but he moved to meditation, and he realized that like he was hurting women and manipulating them, and it wasn't doing him any favors, and he wasn't doing any of the ladies favors. So now he tries to be more mindful about like the things that he does, like with meditation and really like taking care of his body. So he tells Shanice like personal space. Like he's like personal space, personal space. And they showed that like she kept touching him. She touched him a few times too many when they were out and about last episode in town, and he was just like personal space. We found out that Shanice pretty much might have stalked her ex, and somebody sent Alex a article about it, and he got uncomfortable and was just like, yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm trying to be cool on her. I'm trying to be cool on her. Shanice is like, oh my gosh, why would you think I would ever do anything to you? And I'm like, girl, you never know. After watching that series, I'm a Stalker on Netflix, sometimes you know somebody's gonna be off of it, but sometimes you don't know. Like you really never know. So I was just like, sis, you never know who can be capable of that. So while they're riding in their cars, Shanice talks about how she didn't like what Alex said. I didn't understand why everyone was taking what he said so disrespectfully, because he just told the girl, give me personal space. Had like it been a woman saying that, everybody would have understand if a man was encroaching on her space. Him saying like, yo, like I need personal space, she just should have respected it. And I might have like apologized if she thought she really did something wrong. But Shanice just felt really uncomfortable, and she felt like if you're gonna be that way, that I don't need to be around you. So we see in the other car is Nick, Silas, Alex, and Amir, and they're talking about Shanice. Shanice walked out the bathroom pretty much like naked. Like she didn't have on bottoms, but she didn't have on her top. And Amir is sharing the bathroom with Preston. Yeah, Amir sharing the bathroom with Preston and Silas. Not Silas. Preston and Jordan and Shanice. And Shanice walked out with her titties out. And I said, Shanice gives like crazy free spirit. Like she's a free spirit, but she will probably like put poison in your drink type energy. Like it's giving rainbows and poison. You know what I mean? So she comes out. Amir tells the guys in the car, like, I saw Shanice's boobs. So then they start talking about Jordan and Nick, Jordan and Amir. And Nick starts saying like he don't feel like that way about Jordan anymore. She feels like she's a sister to him now. And I was like, but why did you slide in her DMs? Why was you in them DMs, bros? Why was you in the DMs? So, and then Silas brings up that like he's never seen Nick talk to women. He normally goes through the DMs, but like when he's confronted with these ladies in the front of his face, he doesn't know how to act. Like he doesn't, like he plays it like low key. So they're just like, But then they ask Alex like, what's up with you and like what's up with your boy? Production asks Alex that, and pretty much it seemed like Nick got a girlfriend. We find out by the end of the episode that Nick might have a girlfriend, and then I'm just like, well then why would you all up in everybody's DMs? Because we even find out that he like asked Shanice to marry him. He was doing a lot in them DMs, Nick. You doing a lot in the DMs for you to now be like, I got a woman in my life. But they get to the beach. Nick is talking to Alex where he's like, I feel like Silas and them need to stop asking me what's up with me and Jordan, because there ain't nothing up with me and Jordan. The other group is trying to prompt Shanice to speak to Alex, but she's like, I'm not really confrontational. They end up having like a field day, and they split the groups up, and we have you have what's his name, Nick's team, which is, let me look at this, y'all. Let me look at my notes. Okay, Nick's team is Amir, Alex, Bria, and Jasmine. And then Jordan's team is Shanice, Silas, and Preston. So the games look fun. They played tug of war. They did, I think, spin, whatever. That game where you take the baseball pole and you go around it like 3 times. Then you're supposed to like run, flip a cup. Sometimes you do it with shots and then drink or whatever. But like they played that game. They then played that new water cup game where it's like you're blindfolded and you're like the first person supposed to pour water behind their head before, and like whoever gets the most water in. I've seen a lot of people start doing that one. That one looks actually like a lot of fun. So we end up having them do the like tallying of the votes, and Jordan and Nick basically said they won by a tie, but really Nick's team won, because Nick's team had 2 wins and what's it called? Yeah, Nick's team had 2 wins. Jordan's team only had 1. What's her name? Shanice was like trying to be like, like passive aggressive with Alex, talking about give me space, Alex, because she felt some type of way about what Alex said to her. So then Amir is trying to do a thirst trap. He's really trying to get to know not Jasmine, but Jordan. I feel like Jordan's not into Amir. I think she just likes the fact that Amir is kind of like into her, like somebody to flirt with in the house, because some people like to flirt, but I don't really think she likes him, and I don't think Amir can catch the signs that like she not that into you, bro. She don't see you like that. So then we have a conversation between Alex and Shanice. Shanice finally got the courage to speak to him. And she pretty much like said, like, you know what you said kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not really like that. And Alex is like, you know what, I got to work on like how I speak. So then they start talking about the whole stalking thing. And you got everybody else. You got Jasmine and Bria being like, that's not Shanice. Like, I've never known Shanice to be like that. She was in a really toxic relationship. Supposedly, a lot of people said the guy that she was talking to was on Insecure. Someone else told me that allegedly they were saying Shanice, or what the guy alleged in his post, the ex-boyfriend, was saying that Shanice was like emailing people allegedly and telling them not to work with him, calling him back to back and stuff like that. But like I said, Jasmine and Brie were trying to like advocate and be like, no, she would never like defend. They were really trying to defend Shanice, but then Shanice is like, yeah, I did some of it. And she was like, yeah, I would, like, he was called, like, I would call him every single day. He tried to get a restraining order, but when he tried to get one, the judge didn't make it valid or grant him one because he was still texting me. My thing is like, sis, constantly calling somebody is a sign of harassment. Like, that's the new thing. I don't know if people have been seeing those articles where it's like if you get caught calling somebody over a certain amount of times, they can call harassment charges. Because there was a news article about this lady who was calling her boyfriend, like, she called him like over 200 and something times in a span of a week. Like, she was calling every single, like, hitting his line every single day, and he wasn't engaging. So they gave him a restraining order and they arrested her because that's harassment. So Shanice, like I said, Shanice says like she did some of it, and like Alex apologized. They get back home. We find out that Amir is going to be cooking steak for everyone. Why he's cooking steak? Amir talks about how, like, you know, his mom was really wanting him to learn culinary arts and things of that nature, so he's a really good cook. This man said, do you put breadcrumbs on macaroni and cheese? I wish somebody would put breadcrumbs on macaroni and cheese. Punch you in the face. Punch you in the face. Then he was like, what about crackers? Punch you in the face. That's so disgusting. So disgusting. So they all sit down to eat. Everyone's enjoying the food. And then someone brings up the topic of like a guy's night and a girl's night. I think Nick was like, you know, the guys go to the club, the girls go to a different club, and then we meet at one club in the middle. And Shanice is like, that might not happen because, you know, Jasmine liked to drink. Silas shows his insecurities and his controlling ways where he's like, you shouldn't be taking free drinks from a man because, you know, the bad ones might know. This is what it's saying to me is that, Silas, when you was out here giving people free drinks, you expected something in return. So you're thinking that these men are going to expect something within return, or them taking the drink is like co-signing what they want to do with them. Shanice keeps like making it worse from Jasmine because she keeps bringing up stuff about Jasmine. Silas is talking about like, you know, this is an adjustment for me because I didn't really see Brie with her friends. We like dated for 6 months in the pandemic and then we got together, you know what I mean? And then next thing you know, Jasmine talks about not Jasmine, so Shanice brings up about how Jasmine passed out at work. So they're telling two different stories. Shanice is saying that like me and Jasmine went to a party. We went to 2 parties or a party before work. We went to work. We had too much. Shanice is like she passed out. And then Jasmine passed out and they got fired. Jasmine is saying that like, you know, we went to a party. We went to another party. And then she was like, I got a little too wasted. But she was like, Shanice was too. Shanice had to go home. I didn't go home. I kept it together because I'm serious about my coin. I tend to believe Shanice because Shanice seems like she doesn't have any shame in her game. But Shanice said they got fired. Jasmine said they didn't. But I think Shanice is the one that's telling the truth. So everyone's laughing. You see a Jordan with a smug grin on her face, like, it ain't just me. Your girl's a different girl. So like you can't put all of that on me. So then Silas is kind of like shocked. Jasmine's like, I'm gonna go to bed. And everyone's like, Shanice, you kept making it worse. So Jasmine is like annoyed, like because he wants to talk to Jasmine. Silas wants to talk to Jasmine, and Jasmine don't want to talk to him. Jasmine's like, I don't want to have this conversation with you. Like, I need to chill for a minute. So she goes into the confessional that they have, and she's just kind of like, I question whether this relationship is going to work. Like, I see, I'm supposed to be married to this person for the rest of my life. The rest of my life. It's given that, like, Jasmine did this at a whim. Like, she was like, okay, it's time for me to get married, so I should get married. Because that response was not giving. That response was really like, girl, I think I moved too fast type of energy. So while Jasmine and Silas went to sleep, you have everybody else talking, and they're asking Nick, like, what is your preference? And he's like, black women. And then Nick says, you know what, I have a girlfriend, because I think they were like, because he was like, I'm kind of talking to somebody, and they were like, is that your girlfriend? And he was like, yeah. But then everyone else's head is like, what? Because Bria says in her confessional that Nick tried to talk to her, tried to talk to Shanice, and tried to talk to Jordan. So all the girls are like, what are you talking about, bruh? And then Shanice lets it be known that Nick, like, proposed to her, like, really, like, and they were like, was it joking? She was like, I took it as a joke, but he took it more serious. So I don't know what this mystery lady is, Nick. I don't. I saw some people online that were like, maybe Nick, like, doesn't, like, is, like, plays for both sides of the team. I don't know. But, because they were like, why won't he just say outright who it is? But it says mystery lady. I don't know why you would slide into people's DMs if you had a mystery lady, but that's just me. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and hop down in them comments below. Deuces.